We know the story of the American Revolution as a heroic triumph, a victory that gave birth to a new nation founded on liberty. But that victory was never guaranteed. It was a razor's edge. So, what if the miracle never happened? What if the revolution was crushed and its leaders executed? What would our world look like if the United States of America had been strangled in its cradle? The year is 1777. The American Revolution is on the brink of collapse. The Continental Army, led by George Washington, is exhausted and under-equipped. The last best hope is to stop a massive British army marching south from Canada at a small settlement in New York called Saratoga. In our timeline, this is the moment of American glory. A stunning victory at Saratoga convinces the world the colonists can win, and Benjamin Franklin secures a formal alliance with France. French money, supplies, and their mighty navy enter the war, ensuring the eventual American triumph. But in this timeline, the miracle fails. It's October 7th, the decisive day of the battle. A key British relief force, delayed in our history, arrives a day early. As the battle hangs in the balance, 2,000 fresh British regulars slam into the American flank. The colonial lines, already stretched thin, shatter. The rebellion in the north is broken. Weeks later in Paris, Benjamin Franklin receives the devastating dispatch. He has worked tirelessly to persuade the French court. But the news from Saratoga is undeniable. The Continental Army is in ruins. The French foreign minister expresses his sympathies, but the message is clear. There will be no alliance, no money, no ships. The American colonies are now truly alone, and their war for independence is over. Without the hope of French aid, the spirit of the revolution dies. Washington's remaining forces face a final, brutal winter before the inevitable mass surrender. The rebellion is extinguished. What follows is not a negotiation, it is a reckoning. King George III and Parliament are determined to make an example of the colonial leaders. George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, John Hancock. Benjamin Franklin, the architects of the revolution, are declared high traitors. They're arrested, chained, and transported across the Atlantic in the dark holds of Royal Navy ships. Their destination is London, their venue, Westminster Hall. The trial is a global spectacle, a show of imperial power designed to humiliate the rebels. The outcome is never in doubt. They are found guilty of high treason. The sentences are carried out with brutal pageantry at the Tower of London. The men who signed the Declaration of Independence meet their end, a grim warning to the world. Back in the colonies, the reprisals are swift. The Continental Congress is dissolved. The Declaration of Independence is publicly burned. Key collaborators are arrested, their lands and property confiscated and handed over to loyalist families. The spirit of defiance is crushed under the boot of imperial authority. Let's jump forward a generation, to the year 1810. What does this British America look like? It is a land not of states, but of colonies, reorganized into the Dominion of North America, and ruled by a royal viceroy. Red-coated British soldiers are a permanent fixture in every major city, a constant reminder of who is in charge. The Great Westward Expansion, we know, never happened. The Royal Proclamation of 1763, forbidding settlement west of the Appalachians, is strictly enforced. The vast interior is maintained as a native reserve under British protection, a strategic buffer against French and Spanish territories. The idea of manifest destiny is never born. The economy is one of pure colonial extraction. American resources, timber, cotton, tobacco fuel British factories, while expensive British goods are sold back to the colonies. The heavy taxes that sparked the rebellion remain, now funding the very army that occupies their land. The institution of slavery remains deeply entrenched. Legally protected by the crown to serve the empire's massive textile industry, life for the average American is one of simmering resentment. They are subjects, not citizens. The failure of the American Revolution sends massive ripple effects across the globe. Did British Empire, strengthened by victory, becomes an unchallenged global hegemon, leading to more aggressive colonial expansion in India, Africa, and Asia. In France, the monarchy is far more stable. Without the massive war debt from aiding America, the financial crisis that led to revolution is averted. The spark of the American example proof that a republic could defeat a king is extinguished. The French Revolution, if it happens at all, is delayed or takes a much different, less radical form. The world's shaking ideals of lose their most powerful catalyst. The 19th century unfolds differently. Monarchies and colonial empires remain the dominant form of government for much longer. The Louisiana Purchase never happens. The world is a patchwork of old European empires, their power unchecked for generations. The world we live in was not inevitable. It was shaped by the success of a desperate gamble. The existence of the United States, for all its flaws, unleashed a powerful new idea upon the world, that people had the right to govern themselves. Without that successful revolution, the history of the last 2 centuries would be one of slower progress, of delayed rights, of a world dominated by a few powerful empires. The story of the failed American Revolution is a stark reminder that history is fragile, and a single battle can change the fate of the entire world. At the Histofy, we don't just tell stories, we dig into them. If this kind of storytelling hits you right in the curiosity, subscribe. More alternate histories, lost empires, and real human drama are coming. This was the Histofy. I'll see you in the next one.